All right, guys, good morning. It's 2 Cents Tuesday. I actually just remembered that. I had said that flippantly last time. And then I was like, that's actually a really good name. So I'll call it that for now. But I mean, I may not stay structured. And actually, that's what I want to talk about. My 2 cents today is, ironically, that everything can change in an instant. And it does all the time for millions and billions of people. And that is the way of things. Change is the constant. And yesterday, my spouse and I received a bit of news that meant that we're going to be on a bumpy financial road for our next little while again. And financial change is not easy. It's hard. It's probably the hardest one for me because it triggers me, you know. And when I was growing up, my parents chose a modest life. They chose to use their time freely and to improve themselves and learn and read and be educated and play music and all those things, right? Because they were hippies. And there's nothing wrong with that. That is absolutely fine. But then a crisis happened in an instant, in a moment. Our lives changed and we were traumatized, right? We lost everything. There was a fire and everything that we did, little possessions that we did own. And I remember the Christmas before I had received, gifts and figured out about Santa. But I was still, I loved my gifts, and in particular the Raggedy Ann and Raggedy Andy dolls that I got. Anyway, and then a few months later there was a fire and everything was melted, destroyed, burnt up, incinerated. And ironically, there's a difference between choosing to live modestly and then being destitute for real. Okay. And it was a very hard time. And while my mom got back on her feet, I went to live with my godparents for a little while. I'm going to cough. Excuse me. Right? But being that young, that separation did leave its mark. And then yesterday, right, we get this financially destabilizing news, and it's not even a crisis. Like on the surface of things, nothing's actually changed at all, right? It's just that we weren't expecting it, and we can roll with it. We can figure it out, and there is no disaster. It's going to be fine. But in my heart, right, I'm that little kid whose house just burned down, right? So when change is happening, it's important. I take a lot of deep breaths. But it's important to demarcate some time to digest the change. And that's what we decided yesterday, was that we would take 2 weeks of not deciding anything, not reacting, just feeling it. And then we'll react. Like, right, we are reacting, we're brainstorming ways of drumming up business, but that's fine, right? That's normal. And but we're not making any changes yet. And I think that that's a good piece of advice. So that's my 2 cents. When everything changes, go with the flow. Roll with it. All right. See you tomorrow.